rolling.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
응답하라 여친. Go to the into the shil.
Back to the king to the Jew. Hey, Jane, are we excited?
We're so excited because we have a really special guest in the studio today.
Yes.
He is the man in shining silver.
Man in
Silver,
shining armor.
Shining armor. His name is Jonathan Sposato. Am I saying that correctly?
You're saying it exactly right.
Okay,
Yeah, I've been
great.
corrected by
You've been corrected on your name?
by an old Italian American
I was saying it did
college
sound
professor.
Italian. Okay.
She's like, why do you all say Sposato? It's Sposato.
Sposato.
Which is exactly what you
with the
said.
T.
Yeah.
Sposato.
And Jonathan is I'm
But you can say
so flattered that he made time in his schedule to come here. And he was, I think we were introduced to him through our friend Michelle, mutual friend Michelle Lee.
Yes,
from Very
founder
Asian
of Very
Foundation.
Asian.
Yeah.
And
right.
also Samuel Hyun.
Uh-huh,
I met you
yeah,
at an
yeah.
event. I don't know if you recall.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
But Jonathan is self-described as a serial entrepreneur, investor, but you have many, many more
So many
titles, and I just
we
feel
Googled
like
you and we got overwhelmed.
you've
Yeah.
lived many
Oh no!
lives.
Oh dear.
Yeah, you.
What's the top Google
Well,
search result?
you were voted Man of Integrity in 2017.
Uh-huh.
Seattle's most influential.
Uh-huh.
Also, philanthropist.
Okay. All right.
Angel investor.
Angel
Yes.
investor.
So
Yeah.
much mystery.
Which I was
and-
telling-
Sounds very fancy.
telling my
These
husband
titles.
Ben, like, oh, do you know who we get to interview tomorrow? This guy named Jonathan Sposato. And I said he pledged early on to only invest in companies started by women.
Yeah.
And Ben's first question was, where did he get all that money? And I said, well, he's the first person to sell 2 companies to Google. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah.
And you used to directly report to Bill Gates.
No, I did not.
Oh.
That's what
no,
it
no.
says in Google.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Sometimes
crazy.
Gemini gets it wrong with
Sometimes
the
it
AI
gets it
mode.
wrong. I think.
Yeah.
I think what it got. I bet you I know what happens. I think some nice people made a Wikipedia page.
Yes.
Oh.
And on the Wikipedia, which by the way, I have to bookmark the fact that it frustrates me that you can't change things.
Yeah.
Like if you don't like the photo that they're using,
Oh.
and you go, I don't know, dear Wikipedia, can you use this photo instead? They deny you.
They're gonna ask you for donation, probably.
No,
right?
they just
No?
say they literally say, we're sorry,
Oh.
but you're too close
Oh.
to the subject of this page.
Oh, wow.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It keeps people honest.
This
Keeps
is
people
called
honest.
high profile people problems.
Yeah, because I
I
thought
don't think they'll care if
so. It's
we...
not like Yelp where you claim
Yeah.
your Wikipedia
No.
page. No.
In fact, it's like the opposite. Like they
Okay.
deny you if you're that if you're
Okay.
the person.
So we need to, put all the accurate information out there
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that.
So
So-
you did not directly report to Bill
No,
Gates.
no. What,
But
it,
I
what, what
could
I think
go
it's
and-
pulling is that I think there was a phrase on the Wikipedia page which was I did used to meet directly with Bill to discuss product direction or in some cases product strategy. This was and just to put it in context, there was a time at Microsoft where it really did feel like a meritocracy. If you were a young person, you didn't even need to be that high up, but if you were smart or demonstrated some ideas, you oftentimes had opportunities to meet with Bill to discuss things, and I sort of got a little bit of a reputation for being pretty decent at that, and Bill was scary to meet with at that time. He was someone who didn't suffer fools and would yell at people if they had what he thought were stupid ideas.
Wow.
Oh yeah, he was famous for saying things like, "This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard." He once said to one of my bosses, oh gosh, what was it? Do we have to pay you on the days that you're stupid or only on the days that you're smart? And so, or things like, this is so fucked up. Your product is so fucked up. But if you could turn it, if you had the confidence to say like, you know what, Bill, this is fucked up, and here's how we're going to turn it around. Here's how we're going to make it better.
I see.
And he'll be like, okay,
Wow.
tell me. And then you just, then if you proceeded with confidence. So I learned a lot in those experiences that even someone as super left brain and data driven as a Bill Gates or like a Nathan Myhrvold or like a Steve Ballmer, it's different but similar. That confidence matters.
Yes.
That being able to transfer confidence,
Mhm.
whether it's through how you're saying something or the data that you're bringing to the table, that those things kind of matter. And we tend to think that they don't. Like
Yeah.
either people are going to respond to you based on just the data and what you look like and the amount of emotion that you imbue into
Yeah.
into your the amount of conviction that you convey may not matter, but I believe that both things matter.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
so I think that's what that Gemini result was responding to, was
Okay.
that I had a lot of those kinds of meetings with Bill back in the day.
Wow.
And,
I mean, I
So
don't think it's that far off. I mean, you did
no,
meet
I
regularly with
know.
Bill, it sounds
yeah,
like.
I was a
Yeah.
little bit of the Bill whisperer at one
Okay.
point.
Wow.
If I had a boss, I had a late boss. He was a great guy. I learned a couple of years ago that he passed away, but um, and he was a great guy, and there was no reason for this. Sometimes, you win some, you lose some, but he was always, he was kind of in trouble with Bill, and Bill asked for meetings with us and our product team, and he would always be, hey, Jonathan, why don't you take this one? I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be on vacation. And
Wow.
so I kind of got the reputation for being able to make it okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I want to start at the beginning. Like, how did you become this people person? And
Oh,
yeah.
gosh, interesting question. Well, actually, let's track it back to
Okay.
why I invest in women.
Yeah.
I think that if you are born to a single mom, I read a book by Harvard sociologist Carol Gilligan, who wrote a book called In a Different Voice. And it's really about how boys and girls develop differently, developmentally at around 6, 7, 8 years old. And they start to bifurcate in terms of the way that they communicate. Boys become more male-like in the way that they interact with the
Yeah.
world, and girls become more, girl-like in the way that they do things. So the most that's a terrible summation of the book. It's been many years since I've read it. Forgive me. There was one chapter in particular that I found really fascinating, which is that boys raised by single mothers tend to communicate in a more omnivorous way. They tend to be able to more successfully communicate with women as well as men. In fact, that they're described, they're actually more female-like in their communication style, which means that in tone and phrasing, it's more inclusive.
Yeah.
So maybe you say, hey, we're having a great podcast versus I'm having a great podcast.
Wow.
Or you say things in a way that allows for yourself to be wrong and maybe somebody else to be right. And women do this naturally.
Yes. Women apologize,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Always take the blame,
Yeah.
or their instinct is that's what I had to work
Yeah.
on when I was in the corporate world. Like,
Right.
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And there's also, like, if I could go there's also like another layer of it, which is being Asian too.
Absolutely.
So, but parsing that, but bookmarking that for now, the way that boys and girls start to differ, and in the way that they interact with each other, and the way that they play, that's different. Much more competitively versus much more inclusively, parallel play versus sort of group consensus playing. All of that stuff is in Carol Gilligan's book. So I believe being raised by a single mother helped me to have perhaps a broader aperture of communication tools in the corporate world that I didn't even realize that I had until much later.
Wow.
Fascinating.
So
And that,
I
that
credit my
has
mom.
me really
Wow.
curious about your childhood.
Yes.
Can you walk us through? So you grew up with a single mom. Were you around your biological father?
No, I wasn't. So what happened was, so I'm older than the two of you by a long shot. So back in the 60s, so my mother is still Chinese American, and my birth father, lovely guy, Korean American. And they both actually came from really good families, and they met in New York.
Wow.
But they were not and they were, boyfriend, girlfriend, young people.
Mhm.
And she got pregnant, and then he wanted to marry her, went back home to Korea to sort of ask permission.
Yes.
They freaked out. His mother freaked out,
Wow.
said
Mhm.
no. And in fact, we have somebody else we want you to marry. Like,
Oh,
like it's
that's a
still like an
Korean drama
arranged.
Oh
right there.
gosh.
It is a
Yeah.
Korean drama.
Yeah.
He comes back to New York, says, sorry, can't do it. She's mad. She's pregnant. She goes to London, decides to have me anyway.
Mhm.
And my mom's got like a really independent, strong spirit. And like I said,
Yes.
both families were like good families and all that.
Mhm.
It was just kind of some sort of cultural barrier.
Were they
Yeah.
studying
Yeah.
in New York?
He was in his residency,
Oh, wow.
and he became a cardiologist.
Wow.
And she was a nurse anesthetist.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Yeah, so you had to be from good families
yeah,
to
yeah,
to immigrate and
right.
pursue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. That's
the
right. And
higher
she,
degrees.
yeah, and so I was born in London, um, and so and then eventually we moved back to New York, and we lived in Brooklyn Heights. Before it
Wow.
was like nice.
Trendy,
I mean, I think
it became
gentrified.
cool.
that's right. I think it
Yeah.
was nice, and then it went downhill, and then it's nice again now, and we were in the
Yeah.
downhill part. So yeah, so that probably answers your question.
Wow.
Wow.
And did your mom have any other kids?
No, no.
So it was
Even
She
after
saw me and she
she
was like,
got
"I'm done."
married.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like, "No more."
No, but
Yeah.
it was probably that made it like you and her against the world, sort of.
Yeah, a little
atmosphere,
bit.
maybe?
Yeah, a little bit. But and actually the other thing is was that my mom really had a difficult time taking care of me,
Of course.
because you're a single mom, you're living in New
Yes,
York.
absolutely.
You're not making that much money as a nurse anesthetist at that time, and so she gave me up to live. So I went back to Hong Kong. I say back to Hong Kong. It was really my first time. I
Mhm.
went to Hong Kong to live with my grandparents.
At what age?
At 3.5.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So I remember our
Mhm.
apartment, our studio in Brooklyn, amazingly.
Yeah.
As a baby,
Yeah, as a
basically. I mean, like a
toddler.
little
As a toddler.
toddler.
Yeah, no, I
Wow.
remember a lot of things, which is why I always remind my 16-year-old son, and I always ask him, like, do you remember when, and he says he does. But anyway, so I remember guys coming over, like white guys coming over, ringing a doorbell, I'll open a door, and there's a nice man in a suit with a bouquet of flowers.
Oh.
Like, my
For a
mom's going to go
date.
out on a date,
Yeah.
and then as a little boy, I'd slam the door shut and like, get the hell out of here,
Wow.
So,
Wow.
and my uncle Patrick, and I remember this, who's my mom's younger brother, was in college, and he just came to the States, and he was staying with us for a number of months. And I remember, he'd be in the bathroom, and I'd bang on the door and be like, Uncle Patrick, get the hell out of there, as a 3-year-old. Because I had a babysitter that swore like a longshoreman, and I was picking up all kinds of bad words, which is part of the reason why my mother wanted to send me to Hong Kong. So.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow. And then by the time you reunited with your mother, she had gotten married,
Yes.
and then you met your stepfather.
Stepfather, yeah, and he legally adopted me, and so he always said, I'm not your stepdad, I'm your dad,
Aw.
and so I really appreciated that,
Yeah.
and to this day we still have a relationship, and I take care of him, support him financially as I do my mother also.
How old are you when that process happened?
So they married when they met in Princeton, New Jersey, and they married when I was 7.5,
Mhm.
and then but I stayed in Hong Kong till I was about 9.5. So
Did you ever resent your mom for sending you away?
no, I never did.
You loved
I
your
never
time with your
did. I
grandparents?
loved living in Hong Kong with my
Wow.
grandparents. I sort of double dipped in the sense that Hong Kong at that time was an incredible city. I remember being a kid and looking up to Bruce Lee, and then of course it was really sad around 1973 when he
Yeah.
died. I remember the just kind of all of Hong Kong sort of
Yeah.
shut down. I remember just how fun it was to go places.
Absolutely. The
yeah,
freedom.
yeah,
as
the
a child.
freedom. It's like maybe it's similar to how people describe growing up in Manhattan.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you just,
yeah.
you hop on the bus or the
Yes.
subway. So, so no resentment towards my mom at all. No resentment towards my biological father at all.
Really?
It's a weird thing. You would the intuitive thing to assume is, oh, you must have, been upset,
Well,
but I
were
never
your
was.
grandparents? Were you the only grandchild?
Yes, at that time I was the only because my mother was the oldest of her siblings of
Mm.
5 siblings total. Actually, there were 6, but one passed
And
away.
they must
Okay.
have doted on you.
They did. It was yes, they did. The bottom line was
Wow.
99.9%. They doted on me. There was one moment when I realized sort of who I was. I overheard, when you're a kid, you're
Yeah.
clueless. You don't know that you're born out of wedlock and there's anything
Mhm.
wrong with that.
Right.
You just kind of go like, oh, I guess I don't have a dad.
Oh,
But there was one time when I was about 5 or 6, and I overheard my grandmother talking to her girlfriends about how disappointed she was in my mother
oh.
and how she had brought shame to the family. And
Mm.
when you're 5 or 6, you kind of hear it, and I just remember feeling really bad
Yeah,
afterwards.
and you
Like
don't know why.
I felt really bad,
Yeah.
and I just, oh, and then, but I think that sort of that moment, somehow people can internalize those things differently. And I
Yeah.
think the way that I did it was, well, I'm going to show them how good I can be. I'm
Mhm.
going to show them that I'm going to, be a really great kid and all of that stuff. So,
Mhm.
Wow.
yeah.
And
That's
when you
incredible.
then got reunited with your mom
Yes.
and started a life with your
Yeah.
dad,
hmm
stepdad.
Great guy. He's a lovely guy. This
Yeah.
this Italian American man. First words he said to me at the airport were, "Welcome home, son." You know,
Oh,
took out his hand. Yeah.
that's so
Wow.
beautiful. And
Yeah, it's nice.
how did it? And was it? Okay, so I also
Mhm.
have a coming to America story,
Oh,
and
yeah,
it was
yeah.
the opposite of that.
Oh,
It was
really?
like my mom was like, "Where have you been?" Like because I was on the wrong flight, and they were like
Oh, my
living a
gosh.
really hard
How
life.
old were
So
you?
I was 8,
Oh, yeah.
and I got put
Yeah.
on a
So
plane by
similar.
myself.
Yes, me
And
too.
oh, with a name tag, and they had to look for me.
Did they give you did the flight attendants take care of
Ushered
you?
me to.
Yeah, I think.
But I
Do
got
they
sent
do
on a
that
wrong
anymore?
flight.
Oh no.
And so they were really mad that I arrived, and they were stressed out.
Yes.
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought in my mind, I thought I was gonna have like welcome home,
Yeah.
daughter, and you got the welcome home, son.
Yeah.
So from that point on, was it like, did you have a great happily?
Well, I need to, Ellen. I need to know the ending of the story. So were you were on a wrong flight? Were you standing there as an 8-year-old at the airport, just going like, where are they?
Well, they ushered me to where they were, and it was just bunch of angry faces.
Oh no. Oh dear. Poor thing. Yeah.
So I mean, it's so interesting because we've had such a if we were a movie, it'd be like an opposite story, right?
Well, I
Like,
did think
so-
of you, Ellen, when I was reading Jonathan's story.
You did?
Oh my gosh, there's parallels with
Yeah.
Ellen's
Yeah,
story.
that's why I'm
but
so
different.
fascinated.
Yeah.
It's
What-
like that sliding doors
Sliding
movie,
doors,
right?
yeah.
Like oh, this is one way it could go.
Yeah.
Or
Or
Yeah.
you could be
Yeah.
Yes,
like
you're Gwyneth in that in this story.
or you could be a media mogul, Seattle's most influential integrity man, or you end up as a comedian that nobody knows.
Oh, come on now.
no.
Or you have an awesome. Yeah, you're doing good.
No, but but this is the episode is about you. So
Oh, okay.
from
I was going to ask Jane what her coming to America story was, if there was one.
Oh no!
Jane was born in
I was just
America.
born
Born-
in
yes.
She
Boston.
was made in
Yeah.
America.
Yeah. My mom immigrated from LA with her family
Uh-huh.
in '69.
Yeah.
So she grew up in LA and then met my dad through like mutual friends. Literally I think summer after graduating college, she went on a trip to just do dates.
Really?
And then met my
Fun.
dad
Okay,
there
yeah.
and reconnected with my dad when he came to Boston to study for
Nice.
graduate studies. And
Yeah.
so they got married
That's
and then
cool.
they had me. She said it was the 6 most miserable years of her life
Oh,
because
no.
the Boston winters.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
being
yeah,
an
yeah,
LA
right,
girl.
right,
Yeah,
That's,
so-
I
right.
mean-
Yeah,
I can see
but my
that,
story was, pretty
Yeah.
boring standard.
And your parents
yeah.
are still together. And
They're still together.
Oh,
Yes,
wonderful,
yes.
wonderful,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Cool.
No, but how was that? Once I mean, that's a big adjustment, even as
Formative.
brightly welcomed you were? Like,
Mhm.
was it hard to adjust?
And was it New York that you came to?
No,
or-
actually, what was weird was I came to Seattle,
That's
and
right.
that was a culture shock because I'd only lived in London, New
Yes,
York,
these
Hong
huge
Kong.
metropolis.
Yeah, the funnest
And
cities
Seattle
around the
in
world.
what year?
Yeah,
I'm gonna date
Seattle
you, but
this would have been 1975 or 76.
ooh,
Did
I
you
think
feel
my
locked
in-laws were
down?
in Seattle at the time.
What's that?
I think my in-laws were in Seattle
Yeah,
at
is
the
that right?
time.
Yeah. Well, I felt that it was. I thought it was really interesting. I'd never seen so many trees.
Yeah.
I'd never seen so much open space.
Mm.
And let me sum up what it was like, the adjustment. Number one, and I say this just with no sort of nothing good or bad about it or no judgment around it. My mom was a stranger to me. I didn't know her.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, I have to get to know this woman because I don't know her. And but she did a lot of things that made me feel welcome. So that was really appreciated. And so did my father. I felt I had some of the things that you probably could relate to, and I'm not sure about you because you were in a more because you guys moved back to LA.
We did,
yeah,
yes.
where there were a lot more Asians. So
Yeah.
I was always jealous of my cousins who lived in LA or San Francisco or New York. But I was like the only Asian kid.
Well,
And
Ellen can relate to
immediately
that.
you get your ass kicked.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately.
Wow.
In Edmonds, Washington,
Yeah.
if you're the only one and the country was still coming out of this, tragic war in Vietnam, and families had lost sons or fathers overseas, they take it out on you.
Yeah.
So many, and so as I'm talking about it, I'm almost reluctant to talk about it, not because I can't talk about it, but because I don't want to seem like it's like I'm not a victim.
Right. No, you don't exude anything like that.
But the reality was, dang, I'd be riding my bike, minding my own business, and somebody would just come along and kick me over, push me to the ground.
And how long did that, like...
I got spat on, things like that.
How long did that last in terms of, like... So you were bullied.
I was bullied,
heavily.
yeah. Older kids would, to this day, if some, 70s Camaro pulls up next to me and rolls down, I kind of like have a little PTSD.
But Jonathan, it happened in LA too.
Is that right?
In the 60s and 70s.
Yeah,
Stories from my mom and my uncles.
Yeah, do you mind if I ask what neighborhood?
They were in Silver Lake, and
before it was hip.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Again, before gentrification.
I get it. You guys were, right.
Yeah. So they have some wild stories of making fun of names, and they didn't even know where Korea, let alone South Korea, was on the map, and
I think, and I'm going to ask you, where did you grow up, Ellen?
I first, when I first got, I didn't speak a word of English. In fact, unlike you, because I only grew up in Korea, in a very homogenized environment, I didn't realize why people were real.
Well, no, I know what you mean because I had that a bit when I came to Seattle. I would be just sort of, whether it's intellectual curiosity or whatever, I would sort of just look at like a white person like,
I'm like, oh, you're real.
Yeah. Like, look at that. Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
But I didn't speak a word of English. And so I was just thrust. And then we started out, I think, in like Yakima.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yakima.
But then we quickly moved to Renton and
more Asians in Renton.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and back, people still were like, what are you? Like, so, and I, being the kid that doesn't speak English.
Yeah.
Also got picked on. But I mean, you had all that, and you have, like you said, in your own, you don't exude anything that says like I was ever bullied or I was a victim. Where did this resilience and
sense of self?
Where did you? Think you developed?
Yeah, I think. It's a great question. I believe, and I try to sort of mentor my son, who doesn't get bullied or anything, but still, I think this stuff is helpful for any person.
Yeah, important years.
I think number one, you get lucky. In my case, I got lucky, and getting lucky was, um, honestly, it was I think for boys, it's important for them to sort of like be good at sports.
Mhm.
That's how the hierarchy works
Yes.
in
Yeah.
kid land,
What
right?
sport?
Yeah.
Did all of them.
Wow.
Played football, basketball,
Mhm.
tennis,
Mhm.
quit tennis to run track, went to state, all that stuff.
Wow.
Wow.
And so to this day, sports and athletics is still very important to me.
Mhm.
I'm I just turned 59, and
What?
We need to talk about this. It could be a whole other
100%.
episode, I swear.
I'm trying to
But
normalize middle-aged guys
Oh my God!
self-care.
I just
please do. I read that. Did you read that article? Well, Jonathan wrote it himself.
Oh no, but I saw Jonathan, like you look like the poster child of this guy that's like trending on China's TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Yes, the
This
model.
hot
The
guy
model
at
who
Chuando.
60.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
turned
he's 60.
60?
No,
Yeah.
I know of him,
Uh-huh.
and he is in better shape than I. I mean, he's lifting weights and stuff, but kind of, no, I don't want people to say don't set unrealistic standards for men as there have been for women, but I strongly believe that you get what you pay for, you
Yeah.
get what you put in,
Mhm.
and I think food is medicine.
Yep.
I think uh, I believe in the power of epigenetics, which is what you
Mhm.
do and your behavior and your environment and diet can change your body and change the way that your cells behave.
Mhm.
You can uh, make your cells feel younger and actually be younger, which
Are you
then
that
puts
guy?
off.
That
Okay.
model.
The Chuando.
Yeah.
No,
He's like
no, he's crazy. He's amazingly good looking and just I think he's always, and that's I think the thing is that you don't try not to slack off. It would be
Yeah.
my advice to any young person is like you don't. In my case, there's never been a time that I didn't work out or
Mhm.
maintain my fitness. I think except for when I got injured one time, and then for like a year, all I could do was walk on the treadmill.
Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah.
couldn't do the other
Injuries,
things.
yeah.
But we're getting off. Let me track back to
Yeah.
the resilience thing,
Yeah.
which is that you get lucky. In my case, if you first of all, I could observe that in America, um, social power came when you're a kid, came from being good at sports,
Mhm.
um, driving a good car.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of making something up,
Yes.
like something superficial,
Yes.
Yeah.
or maybe wearing the right clothes
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And maybe dating the right kind of person. Like that was like I looked at like why are these kids the popular kids?
Mhm.
And I kind of
Wow.
figured it. I know this sounds really like
No, you figured out the formula.
No, but
You
you
figure out the
were
formula.
an observer in that way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think it's just deciding, you know what, I have agency to change what I don't like or why I'm
Yeah.
getting bullied.
So you've
right?
always had that kind of. Do you think you were born with it, like in terms of that kind of
I'm not
analysis mind?
sure. I'm not sure. I think what it is when you have an absence of some conventional things. I think maybe it's
Mhm.
precisely because you're born in an unconventional. You come to this
Yeah.
world, kind of not. Oh, I don't have a dad. I don't know what the story is.
Yeah.
And so and then you're not being raised by your mom and dad. You're being raised by your grandparents who
Yeah.
sort of give you a little bit more rope, right, to
Mhm.
explore.
Yeah.
And so then then at some point it's the epigenetics thing. It becomes kind of baked in you
Mhm.
that I'm just gonna redefine this. I'm just gonna change it.
Wow.
Yeah,
So I think about that a lot when I
Yeah.
hire people. Like some people are high agency people,
Yes.
and some people are low agency people, and you
Mm.
want the high agency people who can be like, sometimes think about, oh, we're negotiating with this company, and they're a smaller company than us, but we're having some difficulty. Like maybe in this joint venture, we won't really own the IP. Wait a minute, why don't we just offer to buy them, right? So take a lot of high
Mhm.
agency in terms of how you want to change things around you. So I think I
Wow.
developed that as a teenager. Like I said, got hella lucky that for whatever reason became like 6'1" or whatever, and was good at sports. And then like all of a sudden, the same kids, the same boys who bullied me in 4th grade, 5th grade, or whatever, they started to respect you
Wow.
because you know,
You turned it around.
you're making that block on the
Yeah.
football
I
field, or
don't
you're
think that's
scoring
lucky. Is
No,
like you
I think
made
that's
that luck. Again, that was your agency, you know. I don't think it was luck per se, because you had these experiences in your formative years where
Mm.
you had to make observations. Like
mm,
something, I noticed a difference,
mm,
but what is that difference exactly? And
mm.
then how do I get myself to a place of, how do I get myself more social capital? How do I make
Yeah,
it more
yeah,
advantageous for
right.
me? So not a lot of people, if you're a low agency person, to use your
Yeah,
words, they wouldn't think that. They
right,
would just
right.
accept it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I think there's plenty of people like that too. Like,
yeah,
oh, I'm not, those are the cool kids, and
yeah,
I'm where I am, and
yeah.
I'm fine with that. And
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a
So
similar thing too. Oh, I'm sorry, I
no,
interrupted
no,
you,
not at
Jane.
all.
You weren't finished.
No, I'm
There's
fine.
a similar thing that when I had, when my little half sister, this would be my Italian father's,
Mm-hmm.
he divorced my mom at some point and then married another woman. And so my half sister, Angela, when she was a teenager, I did a lot of reading about a similar thing can happen to girls as well. There were sort of um, they're sort of the girls that are like the alphas, that are like the
Yes.
popular girls, maybe the cheerleaders, and they sort of set the tone in high
Mm.
school. Then there are the betas, which is a lot of everyone else who follow them,
Yeah.
right? And kind of they're wannabes, so to speak. Then there are what's called the gammas. These are the girls that have like really good relationships with their fathers and
Interesting.
always encouraged to seek their own path
Mm-hmm.
and to not feel that they have to be defined by conventional notions of femininity, how they want to dress. Hey, if you want to be a great soccer player, go do it. That's just as awesome as
Mm.
being the homecoming queen.
Yeah.
And so, and my little sister, I mean, she's like 32 now, but she's very much like that. And so I think that there's a similar thing that can
Yeah.
happen with girls too.
Wow.
You make me think of I recently saw a TikTok by because you mentioned the 30 thing.
Uh-huh.
And this woman was talking about like, I have so many things that I want to get done
Mm.
before I can call myself accomplished or
Mm,
whatever.
mm,
And I'm frustrated and,
Mm.
yada, yada, yada. But as someone who has conquered a lot of, I think, your goals, you're probably your own personal goals too,
Mm.
having like, you have a network, JoySauce.
Yes, as a TV
Mhm.
network.
Yes.
Yeah, you also I think are owner of
We're
Seattle
streaming on
magazine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
you
Seattle
have
Magazine.
you have so many successes
Yeah.
that by
Thank
any
you.
standards, I think people would be like, wow, like this is a really established person. But are you in some sense a mere mortal like the rest of us? Like,
Absolutely.
have you had a midlife crisis? Kind of
Yes.
like what is that for someone like you?
We want to hear about your struggles.
No, absolutely.
Make us like you a little
absolutely.
more.
A lot of struggles. You don't like me?
No, I'm
Ellen?
just kidding. No, I mean,
I
like,
want you to
But
like
you
me.
sound like
You-
a unicorn.
You-
That's
yeah,
why.
you're
Yeah.
just so. I mean, okay. When I, the reason I thought about this girl was like in her mind, she was saying, "I just need to get to this place where
Yeah.
I am this thing." And I'm looking at you. I'm like, this is what she's probably talking about. Like, she
Yeah.
probably wants to be someone like you,
Mm.
and you have like made a name for yourself. You've
Mhm.
accomplished so much, and now sitting here, like, have you had, do you sit in that and say, yeah, I'm enough.
Uh,
I feel good.
I do feel good. But every day I have doubts. Every
Mm.
day I have imposter syndrome.
Mm.
Still.
Every day I'm like, kind of like this combination of, oh my God, I'm running a TV network. How did I pull that off? I've never done that before.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, you get kind of scared, like, shit, I don't want to screw this up.
Mm.
So you still have these fears
Yeah.
where you feel like you could still
Yeah,
fail.
and honestly, every day I get external feedback that I'm screwing something up. It could be from your spouse. It could be from your 16-year-old. It could be from maybe a business partner in one of these ventures, and they're mad at you for some reason. Like, hey, I sort of expected this, but you did
Yeah.
that. Or sometimes you just disagree, about
Wow.
some fundamental business thing, and I think I'm right and they're wrong. And so those kinds of things are absolute reminders that my life is just like everybody else's. And I have noticed, by the way, that anybody else like that you might that any of us might think like, wow,
This person's got it
yeah,
going on, but
they
behind
have
closed doors.
the behind closed doors. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
want to name names, but
Drop some names, Jonathan.
there are some seriously,
It's never as good as
famous or high profile people that you're like, oh my gosh, I've seen this person in every magazine or every article, or this person's, the whole world knows who this person is, and privately, the conversation is around, um, uh, maybe struggles with family, or struggles with a business partner, or struggles with how they might close a chapter in their career and start the next chapter. So
never ends.
it never ends. And I would also preface that, because of the way that you asked your question, which is a great question. I really don't have like a set of goals that I said, hey, by the time I'm 25, I want to accomplish this. By the time I'm 35, I want this, or 50, or whatever. Every chapter is born out of, I think, honestly, more of a curiosity. Like, what's that like?
Yeah.
Can I pull that off?
Yeah.
And there's obviously oftentimes a kind of a business, an entrepreneurial component.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that could be a really cool new thing that
Yeah.
might be exciting,
Yeah.
right? I can make a couple of bucks. But it is driven mostly by, wouldn't that be cool to do X? And then you figure it out, and that's honestly why sometimes it takes me a while. I mean, I've been working on this TV network for 5 years.
Wow.
5 years, and there were many times in the third year, fourth year, where I'm like, I don't know if this is going to happen. And there is something to be said of this notion that if you put in your 10,000 hours, eventually you kind of become an expert at it and you figure it out. So anyway, I'm going really long.
No. I would love to, as we wrap up, hear a little bit more about Joy Sauce. It's like a fun play on soy sauce.
Yes,
right?
that's right.
But,
like soy sauce, but happy.
Yeah. So an Asian American network. First of its kind.
First of its kind. First of its kind. That's national. That's U.S. and Canada. And that's fairly accessible and ubiquitous, anywhere you are.
That's amazing. And so you just stream it?
Yeah, you stream it. There are many ways that you can get at it. So first of all, we're streaming on Amazon Prime Video right now.
Oh, nice.
So you go to your Amazon account, go to live TV, and then you can, depending on who you are and how it thinks what you like, it could be you just scroll down and you find JoySauce as one of the channels. Or some people have to go to, after live TV, you go to the entertainment section. There's like news and sports and entertainment. You go to entertainment, then you scroll down a little bit and you'll find JoySauce.
Wow. Do you remember the AZN network?
I do.
I used to love.
Yes. I have someone who is who was part of that on my team.
That's so cool.
Because when you came up with that, I was like, oh my God, it's like I remember when AZN was on, I would watch everything on there, and I was so but it felt like it was ahead of its time, maybe.
It was. And what market were you in? Like, where were you at the time?
Here.
It was here in Seattle?
Yeah.
Okay. That's right. It was that very nice person on my team who used to be at AZN often reminds me, like, well, we're not the first. And I'm like, it's okay. We're the first national.
I see. That's why you qualified that.
Right. That's right. And so, but
it
I do
meant
remember
a lot to me when I had access to that.
Absolutely.
And when you came out with JoySauce, I was like,
yes,
this is what we need again. In my mind, like I remember feeling so seen at that time,
That's right.
but it still
Yeah.
didn't feel right, like you said, national.
Yeah.
It
Mhm.
didn't have. I knew that it was more maybe local
Regional.
yeah,
It was
regional.
regional in
Yeah,
certain markets because that's the way the cable industry
that's
works.
so
You do a
Totally.
deal with like
interesting.
SBC, and then you're in the
Yes.
Southwest. If you do a deal with
But it's
TCI, you're
yeah, but it's so
Yeah.
cool that you have the person that worked on that to be on your team.
yeah, yeah,
What a
right.
It's funny
He
you
keeps
call
me
it.
keeps me honest.
It's funny you call it a TV network.
Yeah.
Still.
Right.
Yeah,
That's right.
because we're like, this is digital
Yeah.
new media.
Yeah.
Right.
And do you have like a physical headquarters? Like, do you guys have
We-
studios
well,
in
we do-
Seattle or what?
Yeah, we do. We have we have a place we work out of in Seattle, and then there are a lot more people in LA, and
Okay.
about 6 people in LA, and then we included the former AZN person, and then
Mhm.
we have 3 people in the New York, New Jersey area.
Cool.
Wow.
And we're a very lean startup.
Mhm.
We're not paying exorbitant salaries, but everybody's got a piece of the action, and
Yeah.
everyone's very mission driven.
Yes.
And so, yeah, like I said, we're streaming 24/7 on Amazon Prime Video. We also have our own mobile apps on Android and iOS.
Mhm.
And then we also have our own portal, JoySauce.tv, where it's video on demand.
Uh-huh.
And then we're coming to Roku and Plex
Oh,
soon.
nice.
That's huge.
Oh, and
yeah.
we're also on YouTube TV. So
Okay.
there's all these different carriers
Right.
now. That's the way people watch
That's
TV.
incredible. And it's
Um,
original content.
It's both original content and content that other people have made. So that's the
Okay.
whole point
Yeah.
is to, in terms of making people feel seen, having not everybody can get their movie or show on
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah.
And so we're giving everybody a shot. So
Yeah.
any AAPI writer, director, actor out there, if you've created something or want to create something, we've got a place for you.
Mhm.
Or reply Yeochin.
Yeah, actually,
Let me pitch us now.
we have a great podcast called South Gasian Boys
Ooh,
with
okay.
Vic and Sunny. They're very funny.
My interest
And
is piqued.
I would be happy to host you guys on Joy
We
Sauce.
would love
We
that.
tend to put
Yeah.
these kinds of podcasts
Mhm.
more like morning, kind of mid morning, because that it
Morning
feels-
show, yeah.
Mornings,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's
So-
our
at,
demographic,
yeah.
our mamas.
So we'll
Yes.
talk, sisters.
Yay!
Yeah. So, and then. Yeah. But something that I feel like is really important for Joy Sauce that AZN never did was, I think it's really important for Joy Sauce to also win with Asians, but appeal also to general market.
Yes.
That was my question.
Yes.
Is like what
Yeah.
your target audience, and
You
it's
we
not
need to go
just
broad.
a network for Asian
I remember watching
Americans.
BET and being so entertained and so enthralled
Yeah.
and kind of thinking like, we need this for Asians.
Yes.
I'm not black, but I'm
Uh-huh.
watching BET.
I love
Right.
And
that.
you're enjoying
yeah.
it. and-
I'm not a big music fan. I didn't know who, a lot of these bands were,
Yeah.
but I was watching MTV,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So we have to popularize
Yeah.
Yeah.
our kind of storytelling and content and music.
And I
to
feel like,
everyone.
we are living through
We're
that right
living
now.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
that's
not
right.
a better
Such
time.
It's
Yeah.
a new era, and
Yep.
it feels really invigorating
Yep.
in that way. And
I got my BTS tickets.
Oh my
Ugh.
gosh, jealous. I
You
mean,
don't,
I
you
did.
don't have them? Okay.
So I had an opportunity,
Yeah.
but I just I'm at the stage where I can't go without my kids. I would
Mm,
hate
I
to do
know,
that to
I
them,
know,
and
I
I'm
know.
not pulling them out
I know.
midweek
Yeah.
to
I know.
go to
I
Vegas
know.
in May.
That's our problem.
I was thinking about it.
My
for a
wife
week.
is literally like, have you thought about childcare?
Oh, you're
Again, another moment where I feel like I
Oh,
failed. I'm like,
no.
I was going to,
Yes,
I was
yes,
going
I was
to,
going
but I
to.
wanted to buy
Yeah.
the tickets first,
Yeah.
and they're really
And
good
then we
seats, and then we'll figure it
Oh
out.
my god!
We have
But I
2 months to
saw
figure it out.
their Netflix special, and I'm just like
Yeah.
highly regretting
Yeah.
saying no to those tickets. But we'll see.
How old are your children?
They're 10 and 12.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
so
not
they're-
quite old enough to leave them at home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, not quite old
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's almost 17, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I think this might be.
You're going to go
Okay.
together,
Yeah,
right?
I think-
Well, he didn't want to go.
Oh, so
he-
he's that age. That's
he,
the
yeah,
thing.
he
Yeah,
watched. He used to love BTS.
Uh-huh.
He
but it's
watched.
not, he's into the younger
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's.
Who does he like?
17.
Well, he likes. He actually likes a lot of like what we would call sort of like house music back in the day.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Very
okay.
fast driven,
Yeah.
danceable.
Yeah.
That's so funny you
Yeah.
say that because
Yeah.
I saw someone say like, yeah, the K-pop now is
It's
like
just-
boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
you know, like
right,
it's
right,
like
yeah.
yes.
not what
Yeah.
we grew up on.
How about you,
Right.
Ellen? Do you have children?
I do. I have
Yeah.
2 boys,
Uh-huh.
10 and
13.
You have to think for a
Wait,
second.
I
Yeah.
could still have gotten that wrong.
Right.
Korean Filipino boys,
Mm,
and
nice.
yeah,
They're going to be Chuando.
what?
They're going to be Chuando when they grow up. They're going to be 60 looking.
Well, right now one of them is like, is it? It's like that elephant with the lashes, or maybe cousin it, like
Snuffleupagus.
yeah, or the hair is
Yeah.
Oh,
it-
hiding
yeah, yeah,
behind
yes,
the hair.
he's
Yeah,
hiding
that's what
behind.
they're doing now.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a name for that, the cauliflower or something like that.
Yeah,
The broccoli
broccoli
head. Broccoli
head.
head.
broccoli
Yeah.
head.
Maybe they
Yeah.
But
evolved
it's
to
really
cauliflower.
outgrown, and
Mm.
that's a whole different battle that I can't even.
Yeah.
You know, he's in that stage of I don't like myself all that much, and it's
Oh.
really, like I mean, you
Have
been
him
there.
hang out with Uncle Jonathan.
Yeah.
Does he
Well-
want an internship?
Yes, I
Okay.
mean, well,
Yeah.
is that I don't know. He's kind of he's
He can grow into it.
yeah.
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 Okay.
He's
All
a
right.
very like whenever I sometimes talk to him, sometimes I think of that movie, Dude, Where's My Car, you know?
Oh,
Dude,
But he's a
Yeah, is
But
it
sweetie.
dude?
Instead it's bruh.
bruh. Yeah, my house
Yeah,
is still
bruh.
bro, bruh.
Bruh.
Yeah,
It's
bro.
So you
now
have
it's bruh.
The one
Yeah.
son. What is his name?
Holden.
Holden. I love what
Yeah.
a great name. Okay.
How did you come up with that?
Because it's kind of an homage to my mom,
Catcher
William
in the-
Holden.
Oh.
And yeah, not
Yeah.
actually Cole. Well, it is a reference to Holden Caulfield,
Uh-huh.
or we say that to sound fancy. But really, I just like the name Holden because my mom, when William Holden was filming Love Is a Many Splendored Thing, and he shot some of the scenes in Hong Kong, I guess.
Mhm.
My mom, I think she was like 15. You can't do this anymore. She was such a fan of William Holden. She
Wow.
went to his hotel,
Oh my gosh.
found out which room he was in,
Wow.
knocked on his door, and I can't remember who William Holden's wife was at the time. It was before Stephanie Powers or whatever, whoever his first wife was. She opened the door, sees this pretty Chinese girl.
Yep.
Hi, is William Holden there? And she's like, no, you have to leave, and closes the door. And so my mom thought that was like the funniest story. She told it
Wow.
for ages.
Hilarious.
And so I always grew up wondering, like, who is this William Holden guy? And then you'd watch these old movies. And
You
you're
know
like,
what?
oh,
I
get it.
think
Love that
you've
story.
answered my question. Like, were you born with it?
Yeah.
In terms of, I
That's
think
exactly.
you were.
Yeah.
Born with what?
I
What was
mean,
I born
That it
with?
factor from your mom.
You were born to a
Oh,
high agency
interesting.
woman.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe,
go get her.
Yeah.
She's like,
You-
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
thanks for
go to
making
his
that
hotel.
connection.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
find out where he's staying. I'm gonna go to him because I'm
Yeah.
a super fan.
You're a
Yeah.
go-getter.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
got it from her.
Yep.
Right. She
Yep.
was a stalker.
Yeah, we can.
I have the
Sometimes
stalker
you
gene.
gotta stalk. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
we, you know what? I'm before we go,
Uh-huh.
Mm.
I have to make you promise that you will come back.
Yes.
Absolutely,
This-
sisters.
there's-
This
an
has been
hour
so
is
much
not
fun.
enough.
It was
with
not
you.
Hour's
enough.
not
We
enough.
barely skimmed
Yeah.
the surface. So
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you so much
thank
for having me.
you.
I'm so honored to be on your. This was like the most fun I've had on a podcast in
Oh
a
my
long time.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jane, we
Yeah,
gotta
what
make
an
a plaque
honor.
with that.
Yeah. Yes. That's the pull quote.
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you so
You're very
much.
welcome.
What a
Thank
treat.
you. Yeah. Cheers.